Hello folks, I'm here today with the BMW i7 xDrive 60 M Sport Pro. That's quite a long name for what is quite a long car. It's 5.4 meters long. It's got a curb weight of over 2.5 tons, but still under this discreet exterior, a 544 brake horsepowers for you to have on tap at your will, and a 0-62 time of 4.7 seconds. Now the start price on the i7's just over 100 grand, 101,775 to be precise. The one I've got today, the M Sport Pro, they start about 145,500 pounds, but this one's got some extra bells and whistles on it. Things like this 2,500 pound frozen tanzanite blue paint, and a few other bits which edge it a bit closer to the 160,000 pound mark. This is very much the premium level of electric car on the market at the moment. I mean, BMW obviously also owns Rolls-Royce, and there are similarities between the two with this one, I have to tell you. Spoiler alert, I know. Folks, don't be fooled by the big 21-inch baller rims. The word of the day is luxury, and we've got luxury here in absolute spades. Just look at this. For the man who has everything, automatically opening car doors. Wow. BMW's also been good enough to consider the needs of your help. They've provided you with a 500-litre boot for which your gentleman's gentleman can actually load your luggage. There's also quite a decent storage space underneath the boot floor, which you might want to use to store your charging cables, etc. Nothing fancy going on in terms of technology here, but it is a really good usable space, and it's not lacking. Levels of refinement in the back here are pretty good, it has to be said. As you can see, I'm in full sort of business class lounge mode here. Let's go back to our original position, which I think is this one, and you'll just see how this all deconstructs rather beautifully. I've got a lovely little neck pillow here. The seat quality is wonderful, extremely comfortable. That front seat pushes itself out of the way, but also gives you a little footrest, so you can almost turn this into a bed. I mean, this really is that sort of business class level of refinement. You've also got a screen here to make all those adjustments with. You can do things like put reading lights on, you can set ambience light. We've got obviously electrically operated blinds. If I close all those blinds, got these two side windows and of course the rear window. And then the star of the show really is the screen. Now I've got a camera mount blocking the sunroof shade, but normally that would come over at this point. You've got Fire TV here. So you can connect to all your normal Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus, all that kind of stuff's available to you up here. And you can configure this quite nicely. My camera here is doing absolutely no justice to the quality of the image on this screen. It's incredible. You can also do this. So if you're sitting on this side of the car, you can have the video over here and then have things like your weather and your clock and that kind of stuff over there. You can bring this a bit closer to you if you so wish. You can go into full screen mode. You can use headphones with it or have the audio coming through this car's brilliant array of speakers. And of course, you've got a little remote control down here. Honestly, guys, this is impressive. As a place to sit and be driven, oh my word, this is hog heaven. My kids would give a right eye to come in the back of here. In fact, I've had to promise to take my son to Legoland so he can ride in the back of this car and watch, I don't know, some sort of obnoxious cartoon on the way there. But the car's not meant for youngins going to Legoland, really, is it? This is meant for, you know, a refined gentleman, and all those refinements just continue here. We've got an armrest with a wireless phone charger. Press that button and it reveals your cup holders. And then under here, we've got two USB-Cs and a nice storage space. we can move that back and gain an extra seat. Vents down here. On the seat backs, you've got another USB-C. Everything is just beautifully put together and wonderfully designed. It's glorious. Okay, so the front cabin is, as you would expect, wonderfully appointed. I'm going to start down here and we'll work our way around. So we've got wireless charging pad here and then two cup holders which have this beautifully engineered little cover over the top of each one. Glorious. We've then got your fairly familiar, if you're used to BMW iDrive, dial here, but of course this is also a touch screen, so you do have the option of using a touch screen, all this, and also the voice commands are pretty decent generally. We've got shortcut buttons to nav, phone and media options. You do have a rolly dial here which appears to be glass but could be plastic, to control the volume, and you just press that to mute, so that's wonderful. And also a little sort of crystal type gear selector, again all quite nice. The seats are super cosseted, I'll talk more about those later. And then you've got very nice clear driver information display and a head-up display. There's all sorts of wonderful stuff you can do with the sat-nav, and very much a customizable platform. Along the dash there are a few slidey haptic things, but you've got your rear demist and your front screen demist here. But your main aircon controls are screen-based, or indeed make it cooler.
Okay, I'm lowering the temperature. Let me know if it gets too cold for you.
There you go. So you can go fairly abstract with some of those commands, and the voice command system can actually handle it. The steering wheel's big and chunky, but it is a big car and it sort of suits a large steering wheel. BMW steering wheels are always quite chunky, but I've got tiny little hands for a reasonably large man, and I don't find it problematic at all. It feels super luxurious. You've got a paddle here which gives you a bit of extra boost when you need it, and then you've got, look at this, indicator stalks still. Wonderful. We do have some haptics again on the steering wheel. I'd prefer not to have those. A couple of physical buttons and dial over here, however. Material quality, as you would expect, is pretty blooming good throughout, and they've got some really interesting design features as well. Also at night, like the ambient lighting and stuff is very, very nice in this car. And of course you can control and customize all of that. I have to also mention the sound system. You get a BMW sound system in this car as standard. You can also get, that's Bowers & Wilkins by the way, you can also go up to diamond level that gives you 35 speakers, I believe, including a few in the actual roof of the car. And it sounds absolutely phenomenal. Like it's just a magnificent speaker system. And of course, when you're watching a movie in the back there, that all comes in nice and handy for you. Gives you a real sort of cinema experience in the back of a car, which is bonkers. I could spend hours going through the menus on this infotainment system for you, going through all the different functions, all the different things you can customize, different apps you have access to, but I'll save that for someone else to cover in a video. Needless to say, this car is ridiculously well appointed. It's got just about every feature you could possibly want in a car like this, and you've got no sort of lack of connectivity at all. One thing I didn't mention in the back actually is that big 31-inch 8K theatre display also has an HDMI input. So in theory, you could probably find a way of hooking up a games console or some other kind of video player, or maybe even your laptop to it, so you could get a bit of work done on a nice big screen. Impressive stuff, folks. Very, very impressive. So on to the test drive, folks, and I'm starting this test drive on a 50-mile-an-hour road that's quite busy, and that's for one reason. I just want you to hear the traffic noise. So I'm just going to be quiet for a second. I'm surrounded by traffic in all directions. And there's just nothing. It's whisper, whisper quiet. Must be the quietest car I've travelled in. It does have some sound effects that I think you can switch on or off, designed by Hans Zimmer. They're not fake engine sounds or anything like that, but you hear that? A little woo. The whole experience of driving this car is luxury. Bearing in mind, I've got 544 brake horsepower on tap here and a 0-62 time of 4.7 seconds. And I get in the car and I just want to cruise. I want to float. A lot of cars with that kind of performance you get into, and I don't care who you are, but it just makes you a little bit more asbo. You just get a bit because you've got all the power in the world, and it's just very tempting to unleash it every now and again. And you just don't get that in this car. I mean, if you need to accelerate at pace, it's capable. It's very, very capable. But you just don't get the urge. You just want to float in the car, and that's what it is. This is a car that's almost 5.5 meters long and it's got a curb weight of over 2.5 ton. And it feels like you're driving a big pillow. It's like a cloud. You don't feel the imperfections in the road. You don't feel much of anything. It's just incredible. But despite what you might think is a complete sort of numbness, lack of feeling, actually corners really flat. Even when you're pressing on a bit, it's more than capable on the twisty stuff. It will actually even put a smile on your face. The steering feel is obviously very light because it's that kind of car. But it's got all the positives in the world in terms of driving experience. And very, very few negatives. The brake regen's really good. You can one pedal drive with it if you so wish, most of the time in any case. And the brakes themselves are more than adequate to stop this big, heavy beast of a car. There's something just so cosseting about this thing. The seats are just the epitome of comfort. You can do all manner of things with this. I'm sure there's a button in here somewhere where it'll hug you and tell you it loves you and that you're a valuable human being, because it does just about everything else. We've got cooling, we've got massaging, we've got heating, eminently adjustable. It just does everything. You've got really good visibility throughout. Even with 3 adults in the back, you don't completely lose that rear visibility. But of course, if they're using that 31-inch widescreen TV in the back, as you do, you are going to lose that rear visibility. But even then, you've got like the 360 surround cameras on this are exceptionally good. You're going to have no problems parking this in tight spaces on the screen alone, in fairness. Obviously, BMW already owns Rolls-Royce, and I used to work with a lot of Rolls-Royce owners back in the day. And Rolls-Royce to me is a brand that just purely says flash. It's someone that's got lots of money and needs you to know about it. I know there are people with classic ones and all the rest of it, and great. And they are wonderful cars. But there's certainly a bit of a stigma, I think, where it's, I don't know, it's almost a bit, But what you've got here is a car that delivers pretty much that same experience. You've got this exquisite ride quality. I don't think I've ever been in a car with ride quality like this. I can't quite explain it, but it's on air suspension, obviously, but it does feel like you are floating on air. I'm doing 63 miles an hour, and it feels like we're parked. It's just a fantastic experience. But this car gives you that, and gives you all those luxurious touches, automatic opening doors if you can't be bothered to just open a door. But it does it with a bit more of a quiet confidence, I would say. I mean, this is a ridiculously expensive. I mean, we're talking 160 grand for this car. So it's not like people think you've failed in life when you're driving a BMW i7. But it sort of whispers about your success a bit more than shouts about your success. My dad told me years ago that when you start off in life, you have your name on your shirt, and when you end up in life, you want your name on the building. And I think having this car sat on your drive would be equally as rewarding. Guys, I drive lots and lots of cars every year. I probably drive 100+ cars a year. And there are just some of them that make you feel very special. And this absolutely is one of them. I thought about calling this video the best car I could never afford. But maybe one day I will be able to afford one, because, you know, these big land barges tend to have a bit of a depreciation curve that means at some point they become affordable. And unlike lots of them that come with a 4 or 5 litre petrol engine, this one might actually be affordable to run in years to come. One thing I didn't mention in the test drive as well is that the drivetrain in this, being electric, is such an advantage on this kind of car, because not only do you have that instant power when you want it, because these kind of cars generally come with a bit of oomph, don't they? But it takes what's already a massively refined car in the 7 Series and just takes that refinement up a notch. This seriously is like driving a cloud. It's incredible. It floats along the road. It soaks up miles. You can do a road trip in this and get out of the car feeling like you've had a kip. It's wonderful. Your rear seat passengers going to adore you. You behind the wheel feel wonderful. You've had a massage on the way. Honestly, it's a crazy amount of money. But it's not meant for people like me. It's meant for life's winners. I hope you've enjoyed the video, folks. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to look at the leasing prices on one of these at the moment, click the link in the video description and you'll see lots of leasing prices on one of these at the moment. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.